People say speech delay when they mean language delay, and they're not the same.
I'm in way over my head.
In this video, I'll give you the sticky notes on the way to tell them apart, plus what's typical at age 2. I'm Damien, a speech and language therapist with over 10 years working with toddlers and families. In a few minutes, you'll know the difference between speech and language, what's typical at age 2, and when to get help.
Sounds great.
Quick note, this is general education. If you're worried about your child's speech and language skills, please check in with a qualified speech and language therapist or your family doctor. If you find this video useful, you can check out my 2-year-old Milestones video, linked below, where I do a deep dive on where your child should be by about 18 to 24 months with their speech and language skills. And I also discuss some research-backed strategies you can start right now to boost those speech and language skills. So let's keep it simple. Here's the sticky note version. Language is your child's ideas, understanding, and how they use words with people. Speech is the actual sounds your child is producing. Language has 2 parts, receptive language and expressive language. Receptive language refers to your child's ability to understand language. Think of the word receive.
I'm taking in information, I'm processing.
If you ask my wife, receptive language is something I do not possess.
Oh, hello? Anybody home? Hi.
But these skills are crucial to the overall development of your child's language. The second part to language is expressive language. This is how your child uses words and grammar to share ideas. So things like their everyday vocabulary, combining words like more juice, mummy go, asking and answering questions, and starting to create simple stories. So in layman's terms, receptive language is the language your child is processing. Expressive language is the language your child uses.
I'm just expressing myself, man.
2 quick examples. If your child points at the fridge instead of asking for something, or if they're not using any words by about 18 to 24 months, this is kind of leaning towards an expressive language difficulty. If they aren't able to follow a simple direction like get your cup or get your shoes by around about 18 months, this suggests more of a receptive language difficulty. Speech, on the other hand, is about how the message sounds. So the movements of the lips, the tongues, the jaw, the breath, and the voice that makes words clear. It has 2 main pieces. Number 1, articulation, so those mouth movements.
You know, my brother is a speech therapist. So?
Can your child physically place and move the mouth to make a sound? Example, the tip of the tongue just behind the top teeth makes a T, so a T sound, like T. Number 2, phonology, which is talking about the sound patterns and the rules of the sound system. Can your child use those sounds correctly in words? An example, a child might be able to say K on its own, but they say tar for car. That's a phonological pattern, often called fronting. So the sound exists, but the brain's sound map isn't applying it correctly in words.
Really? That's interesting.
Now, children can have a speech difficulty, a language difficulty, or they can have both. As speech therapists, from roughly about 18 to 30 months, we usually grow the child's language first. So those things of understanding words and routines, building vocabulary, combining words, and using language to connect with other people. We still watch speech sounds closely. If there are very few consonants, or your child is hard to understand most of the time, or there's a hearing or maybe a motor speech concern, then we'll target speech earlier as well. So what's typical at around about 2 years of age? Let's talk about our expressive language first. So those using of words. At around about 24 months, a child has about approximately 50 spoken words, and they're starting to combine 2 words, like mummy, go, more juice. The receptive language, well, we want a child to be able to follow simple 1-step directions at 24 months. Speech sounds. It may surprise you to know that many sound errors are still normal. Like I said, tat for cat, pain for plane. Many 2-year-olds are understood about 50% of the time by familiar listeners. If you want a bit of more of a deep dive into my 2-year-old milestones, you can check out my video I've linked down below. I might also pop it up here or here somewhere as well that you can have a look.
Wow, this is great stuff.
Some more speech sound errors at age 2 that are considered usually age appropriate are things like leaving off the end of sounds, so ka for cat, replacing hard sounds with easier ones. Like I said before, tat for cat. He's not using the k sound. And also reducing blends. That example I did before, so pain for plain. Now I suggest you check in sooner to a speech therapist if you notice the following. Number 1, your child mostly uses vowels or grunts. They have very few consonants, maybe only or huh. Number 2, you understand almost nothing they say, even with a familiar context. Number 3, no attempts to imitate sounds or words. And number 4, any hearing concerns, so constant ear infections, or they have an inconsistent response to loud noises. So here's a quick 30-second check you can use with your child. You might say to your child, put the shoe in the box, or get the milk, without pointing. If that's very hard, that's leaning towards more of a language issue. Next, you could show them a cup or a ball or something that they know, and you can ask them, what's this? If they try to name it but it's unclear, e.g. tup for cup, that's leaning towards more of a speech issue. As most things in life, nothing's too simple, and many kids may show a mix of speech and language difficulties. That's okay. This helps you explain things to your speech and language therapist more clearly. So, when to seek out support from a speech and language therapist? Reach out if by about 18 months your child has no or very few words. And at 24 months if your child is not starting to combine 2 words together. Some other things to look out for is if they have very few gestures or pointing, or their speech is very unclear. So trust your gut. Research tells us that early intervention is key in supporting children to develop stronger speech and language skills. Don't forget to check out my 2-year-old Milestones video where I talk about where your child should be with their speech and language skills at 18 to 24 months. And I also provide some research-backed strategies you can use while you wait for your speech therapy appointment. Until next time, enjoy every conversation with your child, and I'll speak to you soon.